Well, let's now take a look at some of the stories surrounding this year's edition of the World Cross Country Championships. This is the 41st edition of the biannual event and the fifth to be held in Africa. It was first held in Rabat, Morocco back in 1975 before returning 21 years later to Stellenbosch, South Africa. 2 years later, it was held in Morocco once again in the city of Marrakech before Mombasa in 2007 and Kampala a decade later. Looking now at last year's winners, Kenya's Agnes Tirop won the senior women's race at the 2015 Guyang edition. Senberi Teferi of Ethiopia finished in second, followed by her countrywoman Netsanet Gudeta in third. Jeffrey Kipsang won the senior men's race, finishing ahead of compatriot Bidan Karoki in second and Ethiopia's Mukhtar Edris in third. So now, what is new about this year's edition? For one, the mixed relay event. This is a new discipline that runs over 8 kilometers with 2 men and 2 women per team. Teams will have a wristband exchange over a 20-meter long length, also known as the takeover zone. So who should we look out for in the mixed relay? Ethiopia will line up with 2016 Rio Games silver medalist Genzebe Dibaba, while 2008 Beijing gold medalist Asbel Kiprop will take part in the Kenyan team. Ugandan national record holder in the 1500 meters, Ronald Musagala, will be taking part for the host nation. Also in action is Kenyan-born runner Yasemin Chan, who runs for Turkey, while another Kenyan-born runner, Paul Chelimo, competes for the United States. Right now, for more on tomorrow's World Cross Country Championship, I'm now joined live from Kampala, Uganda, by CGTN's Leon Senyange. Leon, what is the mood like now that the World Cross Country Championships are returning to Africa?
Well, Mahui, I must say this is a very, very big vibe around this particular championship, and mostly because it's back in Africa after 10 years. Now, we all know that the last event was in Mombasa in 2007. Now it's in a much cooler, much greener, and with very good weather here in Kampala. And the athletes themselves are actually excited about the competition that is coming through. And I must say that with the new features to this particular event, there's much to look forward to. And like you said earlier, that mixed relay race is one that everybody will be looking out for. We can only imagine a race in which Genzebe Dibaba is actually going against Asbel Kiprop there. So definitely the 2017 edition is having a very good vibe around it. And we're looking forward to having a very exciting races on the track at the Kolo Independence Grounds.
And Leon, what does the IAAF say about Africa hosting such events in the future?
Well, it's a tough one here because looking at the IAAF calendar from 2017 going into 2019, you can only notice that there are only 3 events on the continent. That is the World Cross Country Championships in Uganda, the road race in Nigeria later in May, and also the World Under-18 Championships in Nairobi in July. So there's just little that is being provided to Africa. But then again, you can't quite blame the IAAF on this. There are several concerns around why Africa should and why Africa shouldn't host a couple of events for the athletics. One, of course, is the facilities, which play a very big role in how and why a particular country should be granted the host for the events. But it looks optimistic going beyond 2019, hopefully. So we definitely can only look forward to what will come through with the discussions of the IAAF, regardless of their interest of having athletics more on the continent of Africa.
And finally, Leon, why is it that teams, looking at the teams that are now in Uganda for tomorrow's championship, why is it that teams such as Great Britain, the United States are able to compete at the Uganda cross-country championships but refuse possibly or refuse to compete and are not comfortable to compete in Nairobi for, say, the under-18 championships?
Well, I would certainly think that the major issue here is about the security concerns. And from the countries that have exited the Under-18 Championship in Nairobi, that is New Zealand, Australia, Great Britain itself, and the USA, they've noted that security should be a very big issue for them. Great Britain, on the other hand, opted out because they think they are better off preparing their athletes for the Commonwealth Games. But for the other teams, security has been a very, very big issue. Uganda may have offered some assurance there, and definitely there's a great comfort for the athletes here. So there's still much that has to be done. But like we heard from the IAAF head, Sebastian Coe, he says and insists that there should be respect from federations towards other federations that are hosting these particular events, and majorly to the managers and coaches on trying to get interest for their athletes in competitions that are entirely, especially for the age category levels. So still security remains a major concern, but how security can be dealt with for teams and coming to compete outside of their comfort zones would definitely be something that the countries themselves have to handle.
All right, Leon, thank you very much for that. CGTN's Leon Sinyange joining us live from Kampala here on Matchpoint.